All right. We are officially on the clock with Charles, 25 minutes. We're officially on the clock with Mr. Charles. Now, we start off with a flashback. Now, this is probably mid 80s. I say Meech is probably about 13, maybe 12, 13. I'm not for sure, but we'll just say around that age. And it just reminded me of Drumline. One beat, one sound. And what Charles is explaining to young Meech is, hey, you're the drummer. Pum-pum-pum. You keep that. That's what you do. You keep that tempo for us. Okay. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. That's you, Meech. You hold us together. You the glue. The drums are the glue. We learned that in Drumline. So we should all know that right now. And if you put a 1 in the chat, you agree that Charles is the best father that we've seen in any show up under 50 Cent. Thank you guys for participating tonight. I appreciate that. All those ones in the chat. Thank you. But Uncle Charles is teaching Meech everyone has to play their role. Now, we give Charles a hard time, but we know that this actually rolls over into Meech and Terry's adult life. We also see this episode, and we seen last episode that Terry and Meech both look up to their father, even though he was going through some struggles. We know that this episode, Meech is saying, I watched you sacrifice everything for this family. No one's gave Charles any credit except for some young man from Kansas City, Missouri, by the way of Germany, by the name of MOE, DOT, and don't forget the J, has been giving Charles the proper due. Everyone else has been against Charles. But one thing Mo isn't going to do is I'm not going to stand up here and let people tarnish this man's name. This man had a dream. This man had a vision. He wanted his kids to be the next Jacksons. He had 2 sons, Millie and Vanilli, but it didn't pan out that way. His wife ended up tearing up his guitar. His dreams flew out the window. Meech even tells him, Dad, I'm still chasing my dreams. I left the house. I'm trying to chase my dreams. Charles put his dreams on hold to make sure that the family was all right. Now, sometimes the lights were off. Sometimes the heat was off. Sometimes the water was off. But a father's love cannot, and I repeat, cannot be matched, because when the heat go off and it get cold in there, you get on them drums. You warm this mother effer up. We're going to turn this mother out. That's what Charles was doing. He was teaching his kids that even in our low times, our down times, life is still looking up. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. There's always going to be sunshine tomorrow. Whether you can see it or not, that's just your interpretation of the world. Because when it's cloudy outside, when it's foggy outside, guess what? The sun is still shining. The sun is still shining. It's just not shining on you that day. And this is what Charles is trying to explain to young Meech right here. Play your position, Meech. Do your thing, Meech. Don't outshine the next person, Meech. What did Meech tell us when he got older? It's all over YouTube. We don't fight over women. Everyone is equal. We're all bosses. Guess where this came from? It came from Charles instilling this into Meech and Terry when they were younger. But no one gives Charles the credit for that. But that's why you subscribe to my channel, because I give you that information that you may have overlooked. You may have been judging Charles because when you stepped out your house today, it was cloudy. So you say, I'm going to make it cloudy on Charles's day. But the thing about Charles is no matter how cloudy it is outside, Charles is still going to shine. He's still going to find a way for his kids. See, you overlooked that. You overlooked that. It got a little cloudy outside. What did Lucille do? She looked out the window, said, it's clouds outside. What she want to do? She want to go get a new travel agent. No, not Charles. Not Charles. Charles got an umbrella. He stormed through the weather. Charles ain't give up. Charles is the older version of MOE. I got a couple of copyright strikes right now, but guess what? I said I'm on this motherfucker. Because if they gonna tear this bitch down, they gonna tear this motherfucker down. And guess what? When I wake up tomorrow, hey, guess I'm retired. All right, let's continue on. Now, that's just a little bit of happening behind the scenes. See, Did you guys look at this? Like, what was your interpretation of Charles and Meech when they were younger? Did you guys look into it that deep, or you guys just glossed over it and said, oh, man, it's just Charles? What were y'all thinking about Charles? Were y'all looking at it this deep, or y'all like, man, we'll let Mo, you handle that. Mo, you handle that. That's what I want to know. That's all. I ain't asking too many hard questions. I'm just asking y'all, what did you interpret when we seen this part of the, you know what I'm saying? When we seen this scene? Charles is always giving out great information to his sons. Remember last week what he told Terry? Hey, Pops, you remember when I won this? He said, no, Terry. You earned that. You earned that. And what did Terry say? It sounded eerily familiar. It sounded something similar to what Meech said in this episode. Remember, he said, Pops, I seen what you were going through. The only reason I was selling dope was to help the family out because I knew it was a lot on you. So maybe Charles is actually a better character than what people portray him as. Now, the next time we see Unc, there's a lot of stuff going on in Atlanta. Now, Unc shows up to the crib. Oh, you remember we were saying what happened with the robbery? We'll get to that on Meech's story, but it was a robbery. Remember? It was a robbery. All right. So Charles pulls up and Meech is pulling. This is an okie doke right here, y'all. This is what you do. You know, when you come home from school, we've all been there. What up, Queen? We've all been there before. Well, I don't know if all of us been here before. Now, me, I was a screw up growing up. Like, after my car wreck, I was changed. I really didn't give a damn about school. I really didn't give a shit about anything. So I used to go to school and get like straight D's and F in elementary. That's facts. Although if I would have applied myself, I probably could have been a scholar, but I just didn't give a shit. We all know when you come home and you're in trouble, you try to butter your parents up. You done did the dishes. You took the chicken out early so it'd be thawed out. You know what I mean? You went and started cutting the grass without them even telling you. You start doing all kinds of shit that you ain't supposed to. Well, Charles flies down here first class. I'm not a first class type of nigga. I've only flown first class one time. And I didn't pay for that. I got upgraded because I had my military uniform on, but it was only like an hour flight. And it wasn't really a first class. It was more like business class. I just had a little bit of extra leg room. I ain't never had no laid back room. You know, I ain't made it that far in life yet. And I believe me, I've been on a lot of planes in my lifetime. But I've never had the first class. And as soon as he touched down, he said, Dad, we got to get you some new threads. We got to get you some new threads because you know you like to be fly, Pops. You like to be fly. But remember, Meech didn't have any intentions for Uncle Charles to go to the family affair because he told old boy, hey, hide those. I don't want my dad going up there because it's about to be a dope boy convention. So what does he do? He tells, hey, Duffy, turn those speakers on. Turn those speakers on. Hey, Pops, what you think about that? What you think about that, Pops? Pops, what you think? Give me a second, Pops. Hey, load that up real quick. Okay. Meech, what is this? Movie. Duffy, this you? You made this? Ooh, beat this sound good as a motherfucker, Meech. Hey, this y'all? How that sound, Pops? Meech, you a fool with this one. You a fool with this one, Meech. So now he got Charles right where he wants him. Charles had already fell for it, getting some new threads, a nice ass crib, flying first class, a little bit of lobster and shrimp, some champagne on the plane. You can't tell Uncle Charles nothing, y'all. You can't tell Uncle Charles nothing. You can't tell Uncle Charles nothing. She said, that's devilish. Why you throwing that up? But I'm throwing the rock up. I'm throwing the rock up. If it is Illuminati, well, cut the check. Cut the check, I say. Cut the check. I ain't got no one that's available to sacrifice, but cut the check. Cut the check. It's either that or getting the dope game. I'm still waiting on my BMF chain. I'm still waiting on my green light gang chain 50. Meech, when you get out, I need the BMF chain. I need something. I need something. But Charles, he's in the bag now. Meech got him right where he wants him. Now, this is Charles' story. So Charles doesn't know what Meech's plan is behind the scene. That's potentially to get this house. All he knows is he showed up to visit his son, and now he's seeing that his son is working with a guy named Duffy who has a nice surround sound. Now, from here, we actually go to the Jack the Rapper event. Now, Charles is on his own. Remember, Charles is staying in a hotel at this moment. So he went and got his new threads. But Charles, what he did with the money that Meech had, he went and bought his own all access tickets. He said, man, I've been wanting to come to one of these since Terry was in Trainers. See, Charles had a dream also. Charles wanted to be into music. Charles wanted to blow up and become a mega-time star. And he was even telling Meech the history of this. We finally had to build something for ourselves, only to find out that this is no longer a Jack the Rapper convention. It is more of a dope boy convention. And he looks around and he looks at his son Meech. Another setback. Is there one thing that you boys have in poison? Because Meech wants him to go back to the hotel. And as Nicole said, I'm a grown man, Meech. I'm a grown man, Meech. We know that he's a grown man, but I don't want anyone to think that just because he's a grown man, he can't be taken advantage of. Miss Mabel took advantage of him and he was a grown man. Miss Mabel gave him a little bit of this and he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. So he's in here and this has been his lifelong dream. Pull up in here and Meech is like, nah, Dad, you need to go home. I ain't gonna lie, there was some women in here today too. I was looking around like this might be the place to be. Oh, they got New Edition back here. They got Bobby Brown over here. I didn't even notice that. DeMarcus, Meech is a younger version of Charles. That's all it is. Meech is a younger version. The apple don't fall too far from the tree. Meech is doing the same thing that Charles was doing. The only difference is he was willing to cross those lines until illegal activity. Charles was still trying to hustle. Remember, Charles had a full-time job at the motor plant, but he was also doing shit on the side. But Meech wanted that fast money because, well, it's one thing to take care of yourself. I'm a single man. I can buy whatever the fuck I want. I'm not rich. I mean, I can do whatever the hell I want to be honest. But It's easy for me to say that I can do that because I don't have to worry about nobody. When I wake up, I can go piss off $3,000-$4,000 and not be worried about it because I don't have any responsibilities. When I get off of this live, I'm gonna go upstairs, get changed. I'm gonna watch TV for about 3-4 hours, wake up tomorrow afternoon around 2-3 o'clock, and not give a damn. So it's easy for Meech to get out here and do that. But the reason Charles he couldn't do that is because he had a family. And one thing Charles was always trying to do is provide. Even though it wasn't the best, he did what he could. Now, as I mentioned, there was 7 of us living in a 3-bedroom house, 1 bathroom growing up. And my father was in the military and he had a full-time job. He worked his ass off to provide for us. Did we get all the new clothes? Did I ever get a pair of J's? Hell no. I got 1 pair of school shoes per year. Was it as bad as Meech and Terry putting cardboard in the bottom of the shoes? No, but I got 1 pair of shoes per school year up until my junior year when I started working. Well, actually, it was my sophomore year going into my junior year. Until then, I would get 1 pair of shoes, and then on Christmas, I get a pair of basketball shoes. But I quit basketball so I could get, instead of getting a pair of basketball shoes to hoop in, I could get another pair of shoes to wear to school. That's how I started collecting my shoes. And I wasn't a shoe collector or anything. But as I was mentioning, it wasn't as bad as Meech and Terry, but I understand where they're coming from. And Charles is busting his ass to do what he can. Now, I don't know about y'all, but they did show Glock in the background. Now, we all knew from the trailer that, okay, probably Miami Killers. But at this point, we don't know anything about it, but they do show him. All right, Dang the Rapper. Here we go. Charles goes and sits down, and we know that he's trying to get back into the game. He's trying to figure something out, trying to make something shake. And behind him is a guy that sits down, Mr. Solomon. And he says he has a small record label. It ain't the biggest, it ain't the best, but you know, it's up and coming. It's a starter. They trying to make something shake. They trying to get it cracking. He's trying to get it up and off the ground. Well, Charles is hearing this and is like, man, I'm just now getting back in the game. He's like, well, you know, you might be the person we need. You might be the person we need to get this up and off the ground, get it up and running. Did you guys think this was genuine, or were you looking at this as a play because he was peeping the scene out? Were you looking at this as a play for him to be like, okay, I can get closer to Meech? Or was he using this as an opportunity to actually expand his music business? Which route did you think this was going in? What up, Vonnie? Glock paid Charles to get Meech. Miss Sparkle said he was plotting. It was a play. All right. So we all right. See, that's why I love. Hey, that's why I love y'all. We think alike. Because the first thing I said when he sat down, well, we even seen it when they released the photo. I wasn't sure what direction he was going in. I thought when they released this photo here, I thought it was him pressing Charles. But he did the gentleman move. Like, hey, I see you in the music. We don't have a big operation yet. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But what we're trying to do is get to that point. And if you're around long enough, this could potentially take us to the next level. A man with the talented ear like yours, we could definitely bring that on. Bring you over. You'll be our sound engineer. Just because you can read doesn't mean you're intelligent. Now, I can't read at all, y'all. I get on here and I try to sound stuff out. Charles is so like I'm trying to read what Asia said. Charles so damn gullah. Oh no, that's gullible. Oh, I thought that said Gullah Gullah Island. See, I can't read either. I can't, just because you can read don't mean you're intelligent. So that's why I can't read. Let me see. Charles is so Gullah Gullah. I don't like that for him. See, I don't even know. I don't even know. I mean, but let's be real. Let's be real though. All right. Remove everything you know about the show right now. Remove everything. If you're Charles and you're just at a convention, remember, Charles is looking at this as an event for Black people to come together. So he's not thinking that it's as deep as it is. You see what I'm saying? So for Charles coming from Detroit, being an old school player, he's not looking at it as he might be beefing with somebody. He's just hearing, okay, you got a vision, I got a vision. Let's bring those visions together and put it on the vision board and make a movie. You see what I'm saying? So we can't really say he's gullible, because right now all this is networking. When you first meet somebody, you have to be, I mean, you don't have to be, because I'm never gullible. I don't ever believe nobody until I see some shit happening. But in order for me to network with somebody, I have to hear what they got to say. Now, every person you talk to isn't going to be a for sure thing. We got a good thing. Don't know if I'm going to see you again. J. Cole told us that. You know what I mean? It don't mean it's always going to be a good thing. So for Charles, I don't look at him as being gullible. It's just, hey, let's network. There's somebody down here. He looks the part. You know what I'm saying? I just met him today. I haven't went with him to the studio. I haven't signed any contracts. It's just, that's like me saying, listen, if I hit one of y'all up, y'all hit me up on Instagram. I'm like, hey, let's potentially bring you on here. I'm going to bring you on the channel. Does that mean you're gullible for coming up on the channel? Because all I do want to talk to you. You don't know what my intentions are. That's it. That's it. I don't think Charles is gullible. This is just Glock preying on the reek. That's all I'm looking at. They just said that's why Meech wanted him to leave. But even Meech and Terry, I mean not Terry, Meech and what's the boy? Meech, I was about to say Sterling, but Sterling's in Detroit. Meech and Duffy, none of them knew who Glock was. Nobody knew who Glock was. Even Tina didn't know who Glock was. She just knew that was some voodoo shit. But we all in agreement that it was a plan and it was a play, and it actually worked out. So after this, we end up seeing them talking to each other. Tina gives Meech the information, but we'll get to that when we get to that, because this is Charles' story. Ooh, Meech. Look at Charles. Charles pulled up and said, Meech, boy, my man, Mr. Solomon over here, he got a game plan. He about to piece that shit together. We about to get on Modi J's live. We about to bring Brillo on. We about to have the best show in Atlanta. Now, Tina's like, man, that's a Miami killer right there. That's that voodoo. And Charles hears Meech say, hey, Dad, they got a Spike Lee screening. He's like, nah, nigga, I'm trying to kick it over here, man. There's women over here. I get to rediscover music. Ooh, techniques, okay. I get to rediscover music. He said, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. And then this right here broke Charles's heart, y'all. This broke Charles's heart. Tina is Monique's cousin. This is Tina right here. Remember? This is the cousin that was in Atlanta. When Meech first went to Atlanta, Monique gave him her number and he met up with her. And she's the one that introduced him to the strip club and all the girls that was working at the strip club. So this is like a little cousin to him, because it was Monique's cousin. So it's basically, you could just say it's his cousin. She's been living in Atlanta since season 2. Remember, she went down here to go to school. So that's who Meech Connect was when he got down here. And if you look in the back, Tupac is over here, man. I know they ain't saying Tupac ain't getting none of that fighting. Tupac over here chilling. But anyway, this broke Charles's heart. He's like, wait, y'all know each other? He said, yeah, you Americans are $1 late. And Meech is like, yeah, I've been wanting to kill you. And Charles is upset, and the fight breaks out. But if you watch closely, even Charles got in on the action. And y'all be trying to say Charles is weak, like Charles ain't sliding. Now, I did skip around because I wanted to put the house. I'm going to put all that together. So we're going to go back a little bit because we see what happened here. But We got the bonding between Meech and Charles while they're in the car. And this is where we hear Meech actually open up and tell his dad, like, man, I watched you struggle. I know what you came from, and I understand that. And I'm just trying to make a change and make a difference for myself. That's one reason I'm in the game. Same reason why Terry told him last week why he's in the game. They just want a different outcome for their life, and they're still chasing their dream. Meech wants to take over the world. It's Pinky in the brain. One is a genius, one is insane. But his dad don't really understand that. But the same time, he's looking at it as, this is my son. I want my son to go ahead, you know what I'm saying, and live his life. I want him to enjoy it. And that's one thing about me making a decision to move back over here. Of course, my mom, my family members didn't want me to. But what did my father say? He said, hey, man, you got to live your life. We done lived ours. So that was one of the reasons. It wasn't, I mean, it was one of the reasons why I was okay with moving over here. But you got to let your kids do their thing. And I know you're always going to be your parents' baby forever, but you got to live your life. And that's what Meech is trying to tell Charles. And Charles is realizing that you're right. My path was to take care of you and Terry, get you out of school, make sure y'all graduate. Now I know what you're doing is wrong. I don't respect it, but I respect you following your dream and sticking with it. And that's just the love that a parent has. We give Lucille a hard time about it, but I mean, in reality, what can you do? It's not like they can just whoop you and say, hey, leave the dope game alone. You know what I mean? Well, we're going to jump back and then we'll go back forward. So Charles sees the house. Charles finally sees the house and he's like, man, this is a house that me and your mama wanted to move into. This is a house that me and your mama wanted to move into. And you know me, I spy behind the scenes. I had to do a little bit of digging. Now, me just saying, Dad, I need you to sign off because I don't have no legitimate income. So we were all like, okay, here we go. So we needed the paperwork. So we went and got the paperwork. Darnell said, I forgot Tupac. No, I haven't forgot Tupac. We talked about Tupac in the opening scene, but this is Charles's story. Charles didn't meet Tupac. We'll talk about Tupac a little more when we get on Meech. This is Charles's side of the story. So now we got to go through Charles's financial statements. A detailed summary, list of monthly income assets. Marlowe and Davenport Design, monthly amount is $20,833. Zero for all of this. Individual total monthly income asset. Individual total income. So they say Charles makes income off of his assets. Charles makes $20,833 per month. $20,833 times that by 12 should be 249,996. They rounded up to 250. Detailed summary listing of liabilities. Well, we don't have any liabilities on here. So my nigga Charles is making $20,000 a month, $21,000 a month, $250 a year. I don't know if he has any liabilities. I couldn't see anything on here. No credit card debt, no student loans, other liabilities. And then from here we go. Marlowe and Davenport Design, 94157 3rd Street, Detroit, Michigan. All right, we need to look that up. 94157 3rd Street, Detroit. Oh, it's not an actual address. All right. Charles Flennory, senior engineer. From July 9th to July 15th. Pay date was July 18th. Damn. Charles is getting that motherfucking money, ain't he? Salaried, he made $4,807. His year to date was $120,000. Gross pay was $4,807. Damn. Hold on, Charles. Let's see how much they say Charles is making back then. They said 4,807. We'll just say 1990. Just to give us a rough estimate of how much Charles is making per month, according to Meech in these documents. 4,809 compared to today. They were saying this nigga, if we were talking today, this nigga Charles is making $11,713. I think this is per week. It's 4,000 per week because it was 20,000 a month. And this is saying the ninth, every 7 days, Charles is making, according to Meech, $4,807. This nigga Meech really fuck, hey, nigga. Hey, man, Charles was living the dream on paper, y'all. Charles was living the dream on paper. $4,807. If you just gave me half of that, you give me half of that every 2 weeks, man, I'm living like a king. Damn, all right, Charles, doing your thing. 4,807 times 4. A little under 20,000. Okay. That must be after tax. All right. Oh, we got to go ahead and finish this up. We almost at 25 is 50. Oh, then we almost at 30 minutes. All right, here we go. After the heart-to-heart, we know that Charles ends up signing the documents for Meech, and Meech gets the house. Now, if I'm Charles, hey, this is just between us right now. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. When the realtor told Charles and Meech, congratulations on your house, she looked at Meech with the little folder and said, I'm sure you're going to make good of this. If I'm Charles, I'd be like, you know, those pay stubs are my name, sweetheart. This is my house. Yeah. So, I mean, if you like to stay, a little bit of wine, I got. It ain't much left, but yeah, we could celebrate. We can go buy another bottle. You see what I'm making? 4,800 a week, baby. It ain't nothing trick off $200-300. So if you like to stay around here, my name is Charles Flennory, senior engineer. Don't get it mixed up with little engineer, big engineer over here, senior engineer. Actually, I'm flying back to Detroit tonight. So if you can make it worthwhile, holla at your boy. Yeah. Hey, son, get on out of here. Son, Meech, get out of here. Meech, get the fuck out of my house, Meech. Meech, get out of here. Or go to the back room or something. Yeah, you know, my name is Charles Flennory. I'm gonna be back and forth. First class, you know, that's how I do. I flew down here first class. Champagne wasn't that good. So I had to grab me a bottle. You know, I bought a bottle. I'm like, you know, I'm bossed up out here. You know, they let me bring my own Remy and shit on the plane. You know, that's how it is. But yeah, I'm gonna make good use of this house. Matter of fact, we're gonna have a housewarming maybe next weekend if you want to come through. What's your name again? Okay, yeah. Charles Flennory. Nice to meet you. Yeah, man. Charles should have been, man. Not a lot of women flirt with me, but I know when they are. And she said, I know you're gonna make good use of this house. Oh, we are. And Charles is like, man, I gotta head on back. Now, when Charles gets back, he don't know what's really going on, y'all. He don't really know what's going on. But when he does get home, Lucille is in here and she's like, damn it, Charles. Someone called CPS on Terry and they're gonna take the baby, Charles. She mentioned everything, but she was out with Dr. Reese. Yeah, I said Reese, not Maurice. She mentioned everything except for she was out with Dr. Maurice. Now, she's been saying, when are we going to paint the house? Charles is out there helping out his son, potentially setting up a new job interview with Mr. Solomon. If she would just take the time to leave the church and not be messing around with Dr. Reese, she can start pulling this wallpaper down so Charles can get in here and start painting. Charles came in that house, like Miss Zoe said, Charles came in there. Hey, girl. She's like, I didn't know you was going to be back tonight. He said, man, you know me, I'm first class. I'm in and out, baby. She didn't even want to dance with my nigga. She didn't want to dance with my nigga. So he's like, what's wrong? Charles, you just don't never know what's going on. Babe, I just got off the plane from Atlanta with Meech. I just signed off on a house. What's wrong? They called CPS on Terry, Charles. What? Who called? Wait. Who called CPS on Terry? I don't know, Charles, but they're fraudulent. I'm going to bed. Nikki, get your ass down here. Nikki, what the hell is wrong with your mama? What's she talking about? You know, little Nikki knows everything that's going on, right? Little Nikki is like Diana. She knows everything that's cracking in the house. She just don't say much. So you got to talk to little Nikki. She'll fill you in on everything that's going on. Little Nikki even know that Lucille was, you know what I'm saying, tiptoeing with Dr. Reese. But we ain't got into that yet. And then from there, Charles, you know what I'm saying? I can only imagine. Charles is looking like, man, I got a good looking son. He's making some money in Atlanta. I know what he's doing ain't right. But, you know what I'm saying? That's a father. Like, man, I still bonded with my son. But then out of nowhere, Charles discovers this little thing right here. And I had to get it. I had to get it. We had to find out what the hell is going on. Now, is $10,000 a lot of money to you all? Is $10,000 a lot of money to you all? Let's be real. Is $10,000 a lot of money to you? Charles looks into her purse and there's a check sticking out from Charter Bank Trust. Dr. Maurice Montclair. Now there's no date on this. Cornerstone Church, $10,000. Dr. Maurice. Now to you guys, 10,000 is a lot of money. You guys forgot whose story. This is Charles Flennory. Charles makes $10,000 in 2 weeks. That's nothing for Charles. Charles makes $4,800 every week. $10,000. Charles is looking at this, and the reason $10,000. Man, I laugh at 10. I piss 10,000. 10,000. That ain't nothing to Charles. Charles is looking at this check like this is small time. Who the hell is this broke ass nigga, Dr. Maurice? Nigga sound broke. This nigga used his life saving for 10,000. I just got a whole brand new house cash. Charles is looking at this like, nigga, what? $10,000? Lucille, you messing with these broke niggas? I know Lucille ain't up there. Hey, Lucille, get down here. Who this broke ass nigga getting you 10,000? Did you not see my pay stub? Every week I'm making 4,800, baby. Every week 4,800. What they talking about? What they talking about? $10,000? Get that shit out of here, man. We the Moets over here. We making 4,800 a week, nigga. $10,000 nigga probably had to dig in his savings. He had to go in his back pocket to get that motherfucker. He had to go in both front pockets, go in his back pocket, and go to the bank and get a $2,500 loan. $10,000. And he ain't even get the coochie. Y'all ain't hear that from me. He ain't even getting none for 10 bands. $10 bands, nigga. I'm moving in the crib. 10 bands. Bands to make dance. But Charles seen this 10,000. He like, wait, whoa. Wait a minute. Hold on. He had a. Let me. Let me put this down. My bad. Hold on. Let me. $10,000. Those pay stubs, those weren't real. That wasn't really my money. Who the fuck? Who the fuck is giving Lucille $10,000? When a rich nigga wants you, he can't do nothing for you. Nothing for you. These ain't loyal. No, they ain't. These ain't loyal. No, they ain't. Just got rich. I took a broke nigga bitch. But I don't fuck with both referencing. Ow. Oh. I'm never gonna get Lucille back. Why? I was only gone for a day. Why? Lucille. Lucille, don't leave. $10,000. I'm trying, Lucille. Don't leave me, Lucille. I love you, girl. I got tears coming down my eyes, but I gotta make the song cry. Don't do it, Lucille. It's only $10,000. It's temporary. It's not even to you. It's to the church. Oh, Lord. Help me. Give me my wife back, Lord. Lord, help me. Lord, help me. Lord, don't take my wife. Who is this man? I'm gonna find this nigga. I'm gonna kill this nigga, man. He gonna need a doctor when I get done with him. Why not my wife? $10,000. Oh, why? Damn you! So this nigga seen the $10,000, right? That nigga just lowered his head like, damn, nigga, it ain't nothing I can do about that, bro. Damn. Dr. Montclair, and now it's popping up in your head, like Queen said. Wait. Maurice, where'd I know a fucking Maurice from? Maurice. Not that bitch ass nigga from school. This nigga. I remember this nigga Maurice, y'all. We went to school with Maurice. Charles got to fight this nigga now, y'all. Charles got to fight Maurice Montclair. He got to fight him, y'all. He got to fight him. And that's Charles's story right now. That's Charles's story.